What is up, YouTube? It's your boy GigaCoin coming at you with another YouTube video today. And today I wanted to kind of change it up and I wanted to talk about my past playing with stocks and how it kind of ended, okay? So pretty much what ended up happening is when I was trading stocks, I was on a roll the entire month of October. I grew my trading account exponentially, but the greed of trading and the money you're making can definitely take over you, and your greed and your emotion is what causes you to take a loss. All right, greed, at least for me, is pretty much what creates loss. All right, the less emotion I have on a trade, or the more I risk manage my trades, the better they kind of turn out. um I remember it was one day, it was sometime in October. I'm gonna guess it was just around one of these times right here. It was some news that came out for this stock, SRAX, Social Reality. It was some Bitcoin related news. I bought into the stock. I saw it was doing pretty good the day before and the after hours. So if you did not know, just for anybody who's new with like trading stocks or whatever, the after hours are pretty much the hours after the stock exchange ends, where some people can still buy in on stocks and prepare for the next day. Well, this stock had soared 11% in the aftermarket, and going by the news and how the stock had been performing, had been constantly increasing, I kind of thought that it was a safe bet. So I thought it was just gonna go straight up. I remember I bought in. I used and let me go ahead and make you understand this right now. I already bought 95% of my max buying power on this stock in the after hours. I was, that's how I've been playing from the very get-go playing stocks. I had went 95% of my buying power. So 95% of my money the entire time. And I actually have been profiting well that way. But I really regret it because after a while I was like, okay, 95% of my buying power is good, but then I decided to try to margin trade. So what margin trading is, if you didn't know, is when you essentially borrow money from a broker, and a loan necessarily, just for a quick second to make a trade. All right. So let's say, for instance, I'm going to use SureTrader as an example because that's actually the broker that I was using. All right. So with $1,000 on SureTrader, SureTrader actually gives you enough margin to multiply your money times 6. So $1,000 essentially with margin can be $6,000, right? Pretty lot of money. You can make some pretty crazy profits with that. I've been experimenting with the margin trading. I profited a few times, and then I was really getting into it. I was playing with like max of my margin and everything. And what you need to know about the dangers of margin trading are is, like, okay, let's say, for instance, all right, I can't give you the exact day it was, but I know it was one of these breakouts here. So stock broke out, like, right before the exchange ended. So I believe that was, anywhere around this time, like right here, went up a little bit more in the after hours. And then the next day, kind of expected it to kind of soar a little bit more, which was a very bad idea. I didn't have enough of evidence there to kind of prove that. And what ended up happening is when the market launched the next day, the stock went down incredibly in mere moments. In about 30 seconds, it completely went down. And what you need to understand about margin trading is okay, the purpose of you borrowing this money is to increase profits, right? But if you lose, you're losing big money. So I'm gonna go back to that example I just made you, right? So let's say, for instance, right now you have, let's not even say 1,000. Let's say you have $10,000 in your account, and you're playing with your margin, and that gives you 60,000, right? So if you go up 10% on a trade, you make $6,000. Pretty incredible. But if you do go down 10%, we're talking, you losing $6,000 in one go. More than half of your stock portfolio in one go. You just lost that much money. Those are the risks behind margin trading. Like margin trading, I highly, highly, highly recommend you don't even attempt to margin trade. Well, there's nothing wrong with margin trading, but don't use all of your margin. If you're gonna margin trade, I recommend to not use any more than 150% of your buying power, of your max buying power. If you trade with any more than that, you're putting yourself in a position where you kind of can't even, kind of wait on the stock to jump again. You know what I mean? Because what I'm trying to say is, like, say for instance, it's $2.89 here, right? But and it just drops a little bit, so $2.57, and you're like, well, okay, it'll probably bounce again, right? You can't even wait on the bounce, okay? Because all right, at this point, it was $2.89, so if you're losing really any more than 20 cents at this point, or close to 30 cents, you're already taking a 10% loss. So by the time it even hit this point, before it even bounced again, I'm already at a 10% loss. I'm already at a point where I kind of need to back out, or I'll get a margin call, which is another thing. So if you don't maintain, I'm not sure if every brokerage is like this, so I don't want to tell you this, but usually it's like if you can't maintain a certain amount of equity of your account, like 40% equity, you get a margin call and they'll automatically sell your stock. So imagine if you got a buy-in at this point, right? And then you got to this point or this point, and they just sold your stock, and then right after that it bounced. That's what it's like. Like margin trading is pretty much, if you don't get like a near perfect buy-in, it's just not even worth it, because you can't even truly play. You can't play your stock game normally. All right, like when I don't margin trade, when I'm just playing with my money, it's a lot different. You're not worrying about blowing up your entire account, and it's not that much on the line. So I highly recommend to just take your time with trading. The key to trading is to just take things slow and always stick to your criteria. That's with trading anything, you know what I mean? It could be cryptocurrency, uh, stocks, anything, whatever. When it comes to trading, you have to stay calm. You have to even forget about the profits, and you just focus on the trade, and you look for the tops and bottoms. That's it. That's all there is to it. You can't get beside yourself. All right. So just want to make this YouTube video today about that. There's a lot of different people I know who are attempting margin trading, who are beginners, that I've actually helped get on stocks, and I highly, highly recommend you to stay away from it. If you are gonna margin trade, do it once you've gotten pretty damn good. It could definitely, you can make a life-changing event in mere moments with margin trading. All it takes is 30 seconds, and this stock goes from here to here in one single dip, right? Just from panic sells or whatever. It could be stop losses, anything, and you could lose it all. You could blow up your entire account. And we already talked about 10%, but then let's say, for instance, you just drop even lower than that in one swoop. You know what I mean? So, yep. If you like the video, leave a comment, like, subscribe. Definitely make another YouTube video tomorrow. I'm going to be doing this daily, so help me, create this channel. Help me make it grow. If you enjoy this content, and I'll catch you later.